All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Monday night of Stop Blaming Monday. It's your job that sucks. Tonight's subtitle is Chase Your Dreams. My name is Zach Shaheed from Columbus, Georgia, and I'm excited to come back for another Monday night. So guys, let me tell you how this blab started, right? So about a month or so ago, I was sitting watching Sunday Night Football with a good friend of mine, right? I mean, a very good friend. And as we were sitting there enjoying the game, when the game went to halftime, he looks over to me. He's like, oh, man. And I'm like, bro, what's up? He said, man, you know what tomorrow is, right? I'm like, Monday? Like another great day? He's like, man, Monday just sucks. And I was like, what do you mean Monday sucks? He's like, man, because it sucks. You know, I had the whole weekend off. I've been enjoying my weekend. Now I got to go back to work. So I looked at him like, oh, okay. Is it that Monday sucks, or is it the place you have to go to every single Monday that sucks? So he admitted to me, he was like, Zach, it's the place that I'm going to, because if I had time, freedom, then I would not be worried about Mondays. So you know what? I said, man, you gave me an awesome topic that I'm going to start talking about on this new Blab platform called Stop Blaming Mondays. Because guys, how many of you know that there are people yesterday, right? They were sitting at home and then they got this pit feeling in the bottom of their stomach. Their stomach start cramping up and they're just like, oh, Monday morning, I got to be up again and I got to go to the job. Do you guys know anybody like that? Type the number 2 if you know anybody like that. That every time you talk to them on Sunday is this pit feeling right here. And they're like, oh, Monday sucks. So I'm seeing a lot of it. Man, it is very depressing. So my question to my friend was, what are you going to do about it? Because I'm tired of hearing you complain about Monday morning. So what are you going to do? All right. So look what Matt says. Only looking forward to the weekend. Sick mindset. Yeah, it's definitely a sick mindset to live in. People are living for the weekends, guys. They are just like, thank God it's Friday. Guess what? They try to cram all of their life into Saturday and Sunday. And then guess what? Come Monday morning, it's like the heart attack rate is just skyrocketing. Matter of fact, Eric Worre, I don't know if you guys know who that is. He had a video come out about entrepreneurs. He says it in his video, like it's a stat that the heart attack rate goes up every single Monday because people are going somewhere that they hate going to. So, hey, yeah, come on, jump on, man. Take a seat. Take a seat. Anybody else who want to take a seat, you know, I want to make this a very interactive discussion tonight. So I got Matt coming on up.
Yo.
Matt, what's up? What's up, man?
Not much. What's going on?
Man, everything, man. I just hopped off your blab. You had an awesome blab going too.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. So what input you want to give, buddy?
I just want to tell you that you're right on that, man, because I just got black with Red Higdon, which is kind of funny. So people are like, are you interested in coming? I'm like, no, I just asked them on Facebook. They're like, really? Anyways, new story. But to the point here, you're right, man, because and I've noticed myself, it's like when you get to the point where when you go to work on a Monday and you wake up and the first thing you think is, I can't wait till it's Friday, and you just started the week. In the words of Gary Vaynerchuk, your shit is fucked. And it's true.
Right.
But the thing is, like, before we go down this journey, like, no one seems to think of, like, oh, we're trained that, like, that's an okay mindset. There's nothing else to do but the weekend, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, blah, blah, blah. And then you just go over. And I've realized, like, everyone gets depressed on Sunday. They're like, oh, it's Monday, blah, blah. It's like, nah, dog, you have no project. You have a shit to earn for, and you're just working on something you don't even believe in it. And then, oh, but there's a solution. I'll get a different job. And maybe the same shit.
Right.
Maybe with more pay. Maybe. But it's just like, no. I'm done.
Hey, so let me ask you this, Matt. Who taught us this mindset of going to a job? Where did that mindset come from?
Society to our parents, and they did the best they could because what they know, and to us, and then you watch it in movies, you see it in textbooks, all the stuff that gets ingrained in you, and the system it is a system, is very well put together to basically beat the crap out of you. Any sort of resistance or anytime you diverge, you go to the left, they're like, no, get back in there. And the thing is, they have to do it. They've trained everyone else to police their own. Like, wait, what are you doing? What do you mean you can do this job? What do you mean you can go on your own? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, there's a lot of risk. That's a scam and scheming. Sounds like a pyramid. It's like, you're in the pyramid, bro. No one's realizing when they say pyramid, one, they have no idea what it means. Two, the military's a pyramid. I was in the Marine Corps Reserves. Don't hate it. Don't regret it. But it's a pyramid. You have one 5-star general. He's named some 4-star, 3, 2, 1, boom. Pyramid. But no one says that. The Catholic Church is a pyramid, but no one seems to, whatever.
Hey, man, so look, finish the statement up for me. Go to school, get a good education to get a good what?
Job.
So here's my question. Is there such a thing anymore as a good job? I need people in the audience to answer that. Is there such a thing? Matt, what do you think?
No, there isn't. Even if you work for the government, man, when there's a government shutdown, if you're not needed, peace.
Mm-hmm.
People want you to get that. They're like, I have job security. Okay, don't show up to work for about 30 days. See what happens then.
Mm-hmm. So I would love for other people to come take a seat because guess what? There's a lot of questions I want to ask you guys, and it's going to be built around mindset. So Matt has already told you guys there's no such thing as a good job, right? Because guess what? There's no security. So I want to ask everybody in the audience, who sold you on the idea of job security? Who sold you on that idea? Where did that idea come from that, okay, I can get a good job and it's a secure job? Somebody said, CL said parents. Okay, parents taught us that. Now, our parents, it does not make them bad at all. They taught us the best way they knew how. Okay, but now in the 21st century, guys, there are so many ways we can create income that do we actually need a job? If we know that it's not Monday that sucks, it's not Monday, it's the job that sucks, why aren't we creating some different revenue streams so that we don't have to go to a place that sucks? Can somebody please tell me that? Fear. Oh, fear is a good one. And you know what? Fear, all it is false evidence appearing real. That's all fear is. Somebody told you can't do something, and now you're scared. Where me, I'm the exact opposite. You tell me I can't do something, I'm going to go try it just because you told me I can't do it. So
I agree with you on that.
Oh, yeah, man. We got government, somebody put school. So, hey, CL, you should come take a seat because you got a lot of great feedback. We would love to hear. Here you come. Christopher.
Uh-oh. He's back.
What's up? Uh-oh, what happened? He fell off. Chris, there you go. Okay, let's go.
Well,
there he is. He's back.
Shady's back.
Welcome to the Blab, bro. Welcome to the Blab. Everything, man. So what input you got for us, man? Tell us something good.
Oh, man. Where do I start? Hey, I was, and I talked to Matt the other night. I'm in education, bro. We've been preaching that forever. Hey, get a piece of paper that tells you you're qualified for being broke the rest of your life. Let's see.
Oh, God,
I can't get
right.
this. Let's see. Do you want?
Yeah, tell a little bird. Everybody that's jumping on, please tell a little bird about the Blab.
Yeah, man. It's we've been conditioned. Matt and I had this conversation the other night. We've been conditioned to think that that's the only thing that works. Go to school, get good grades, get a good job. But like you were saying earlier, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a secure job. There's no loyalty anymore. This is not your grandfather. Well, this is not your daddy's or your grandfather's economy. So that's when a person becomes very open to other ideas. And if you don't, what is it they say? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So a lot of the same things that we hear, we're going to talk about tonight that you've probably heard a lot of people say, but it's the truth, man. I mean, there's no way out unless you go do something and build something on your own and make it yours and own it. whatever that means.
So Chris, let me ask you this. So you're a teacher, right?
I used to be a teacher, but now I'm in higher education. So basically what I do is I help faculty design online courses. And, I thought that going back to school and getting a master's degree was going to help, and then I thought getting a PhD was going to help. And it's just not right. It's just not so. In fact, you ask 9 out of 10 students that walk around the university where I work every day what they're doing there, they couldn't tell you. And you say, where are you going? What you going to do now? And they go, well, I'm going to graduate, but I'll go get a master's. And I'm like, you mean be deeper in debt?
Student loans. Can I say something on that too, man, Chris? I was thinking about this guys the other day because my girlfriend has come in. She's a teacher. She's 5th grade, and she's been like going back and forth about like getting her another degree or something. The only reason why people want to get another degree is because to make what? More of this, right?
Yep.
Normally, it takes about maybe 6 months if you're lucky to a year, maybe 2 years to earn a degree to get more of this.
Yep.
Normally, you make the decision to get a degree to make more money. When did you need the money? Yesterday, right? Yep. So why in the world are you going to spend more money to get the money a year later, maybe a year and a half later, so if you don't get a job lined up in that field?
Right.
You was working 2 years for like what? Like, don't quote me on this, but for like what, a $10,000 a year increase that take you a year and a half to make? When if you open up your mind and look at other things, develop some skills, you can make that money within 30 days, a week, whatever extra money inside that from your own creative ability, instead of having to go away for a damn year. It's like, that's retarded. It's like, no, I'm not gonna go to school and wait for a free year. I need the money yesterday, son. Bills, everything else. That's just my student loans. Yeah, it's just that's my thing on that. Just think about that, a whole year.
Listen, and not just that, Matt and Chris. Check this out, right? And I'm gonna let Carleone come in too. My boy Carleone hopped on. But look, check this out, right? So you going to school, you getting all these student loans. You're gonna be paying Sally Mae for the rest of your life. And check this out, guys. I don't know if you guys were like me, but when I was in school, I went to school for business management, right? And to give you guys a background, my dad is a traditional business owner back in DC. So I learned a lot of my mentality comes from my dad about starting your own business, because my dad actually told me, go to school, get a good education to start a business. All right. So when I go to school, though, check this out. I'm in school trying to learn business, and none of my professors own the business. Or they. So I was like, how does that make sense? Like, why am I listening to you guys if you cannot teach me to do something you have never even done? So we're going into all this debt for what? For what? And on that, hey, y'all guys hearing feedback? A lot of feedback noise?
Yeah, I think it's coming from Carleone there. I muted him, and there's a lot of background noise, but when I mute him, it goes away.
Hey, Carleone, try to make sure you close out any other extra windows you got open and turn your volume down a little bit. See if it helps with the background noise.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Not calling him out or anything. No, man, that's the truth, man. Because I'd even thought about an MBA, but then I thought, man, through some personal development I was doing with the company I'm in, somebody said, why would you want to take advice from somebody that's never had a business that's been successful? Mm-hmm. And I thought about that a minute, and I'm like, how many professors over there that are teaching in a Master's of Business Administration program actually has businesses that have done anything?
Right.
So it's kind of the same concept, if people always talk, and you were talking about it when I popped in here. Matt was talking about pyramid. People, it just cracks me up, man. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's like it's a pyramid.
Make money off of me. Make money off right now.
While I sleep.
Exactly. So let's let Carleone. What you got to say, bro, on this topic here, man?
Man, my advice. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
My advice when it comes to school, I just paid off student loans from going to 2 different colleges. Man, it's not worth it at the end of the day. I make more money off of my personal attributes than I do off of the education that I got from going to school. And Sally Mae, like you said earlier, she is a poison in your life. Please exclude her as much as you possibly can. Everything that you're gonna learn in the college, you can go on YouTube and learn right now. Shit, that's the honest to God truth, man.
That is the truth, man. Let me tell you an example. All right, I work with faculty that teach these courses every day, right? So, and I'm not knocking school. Don't get me wrong. It's for some people. Like I want a doctor to go to school and learn how to cut somebody. I don't want them to get an online degree for that shit, you know?
Yeah.
So, but some of the faculty will be like, okay, here's the content that I want to use, and they'll use something from a publisher, right? So, and then that's all they'll put in their course. And I'm like, wait a minute. First of all, where are you? I mean, you're the subject matter expert, right? You're supposed to be the professor. You're supposed to be the one teaching. So where is it? If this is not your content, then where are you? And second of all, if your students wanted just to read the book, why didn't you just send them to the bookstore and tell them to buy the book and then come back in 6 weeks and take the final exam? But our system is so broken that this is the way we've always done it. But the very culture of the education system, how it's set up now, was for very rural farming communities to give people access to information when they weren't in the field working. Okay, but somehow that kind of just stayed the same. I mean, you look at countries like Finland. I mean, look at their education system. There's so many things that we could be doing differently here, but I know what this topic is about. People need to open their minds and be accepting that there are other things that work. I mean, okay, everybody's been to a bad restaurant, right? And they've had a bad experience or they've gotten food poisoning. Does that mean all restaurants don't work?
Nope.
So I understand the mindset because we've all been there. We've all been trapped into thinking that was the way to go. You know, hey, because it's an honorable thing. Hey, get a master's degree. You know, I was one more step away from a PhD. But you know what? In the long run, I looked at my return on investment for that, and it really didn't look that it was going to pay me off like something else might. So I don't know, man. What do you think?
So check it out, Chris. You said something real good there. You said it's an honorable thing. And here's why I think school is an honorable thing is because it shows that you can finish what you started.
Right.
Okay. So you're developing skill sets and it's showing you can finish something. It's great. Okay. Book knowledge is great, but I'm a fan of applied knowledge.
Absolutely.
So just like Jenny was saying, hey, she loves being a YouTube student. Me too. Look, I learned how to tie a bow tie from YouTube.
Absolutely.
All right. So these 21st century tools, guys, it's powerful. So you don't necessarily have to go to a traditional school to learn. So to get back to our topic about Mondays not sucking, it's a job. And we know the school system is not teaching us effectively. Guys, let me ask you this. How do we start new conversations then? Because the subtitle of this is Chase Your Dreams. How do we start new conversations to get people to start chasing their dreams and not crying about going to work on Monday? And I want to say, if anybody wants to come take a seat, please type in the comments and we'll make sure we get you a seat open to join in the conversation. But guys, for now, how do we change this conversation? We need to chase our dreams instead of building somebody else's. How do we change that?
I've been talking.
We're all like,
no, you know what though? I'll say one thing and then I'll let the other guys chime in too. I don't think you can chase anything until you fix what's up here. Because we have been programmed, if you will, to think a certain way. And not saying that's a bad thing, because look, my parents didn't know any better. The only reason they wanted me to go get a good education and get a good job is because they didn't get a good education, but they had a job where they stayed in for like 30, 40 plus years. That don't happen anymore. Okay. So, but in our new economy, you have to be very open to different things and not be so closed-minded. But I do think it starts in here with the mindset. And you alluded to that earlier, Zach. So anybody else?
Carly, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah. I say my opinion on that. If you guys have never read James Allen, As a Man Think, whatever you think, you react to. However you, like you just said, what's in your mind is as you perceive everything is what you give out to the universe. If you're not applying this knowledge, just absorbing it ain't doing nothing but just sitting there manifesting. If you're not putting it out to the world, it's really not benefiting nobody, or especially yourself. So what you bring in is what you have to put out. And honestly, just on the education base, everything that you learn, you have to apply to your business, no matter what that business is. And mastering your time and your efforts is number one. If you can't master your time with your efforts, you're just wasting time and space.
I agree.
Oh man, I totally agree. And let me get this thought out of my head if I forget. Carleon said about mastering the time. So I love, anybody that knows me, I love telling stories, right? So Carleon just brought up a conversation I had with somebody the other day again. So I'm talking to one of my friends again. My friends, guys, they give me awesome stories, I promise you. So I'm talking to my friend. I say, listen, you don't like where you're going to, right? You hate your job. You say it sucks. You hate it. So let me share with you an idea to help you create time freedom to get rid of that job, right? So I share with them a business concept that makes complete sense to them. And here's what they tell me, guys. Listen to this now. Two things he said. First thing he said, oh, Zach, I don't have time for a business. I said, okay. So you're looking to free up some time, but you don't have time for a business. So here was my question. I said, what are you busy doing? I said, because anybody that, especially if you're struggling, anybody who's struggling should not make any excuses about why they can't start something that's going to help them free up their time. I said, so what are you busy? Busy doing what? Watching Scandal? Watching Empire? Let's be real. Because you are looking at The Walking Dead.
No, you know what it is? Candy Crush, bro. Candy Crush.
Oh God. No. Let's not go into that, please.
I stopped playing that game over a year ago.
Man, so look, that was the first thing. And here's the second thing that I want you to get you guys' feedback on this, right? So after they told me they didn't have time, I said, okay, you can find time. So I kind of helped them find some time in their schedule. Second thing was, well, my job won't let me do it. Guys, listen, I had my phone in my hand because I was getting the text message and I literally dropped my phone. Like, so wait a minute. The job sucks. You don't have time and you want to get more time, but you're telling me your job won't let you do it? Really? Really? Guys, what do you got to say about that? Somebody help me out.
Okay, to go back to the original question first, I feel like, yeah, you got to fix it up here to really have an open idea. I would suggest, like, as Carleon said, give him a book to read. He didn't say that, but like have him read it as him and think of like, you got to give him a book to read because I've been listening a lot of Grant Cardone lately, and he makes a point. It says if it's in print, people are more likely to believe it. Maybe you just show it and like kind of say it. But if it's in a book, started like, well, that makes sense. So a suggestion would be The Magic of Thinking Big was one of the first books I read years ago, and that'll really help open people's minds because it helps them go, look at the logic. Here's the story. Because for whatever reason, even though it's in print, you don't think that too much about it. You'll take it as serious, something that's legit. But to what your friend said, one, I would have been like, you're stupid. I would have slapped him like I did out of love, But it's just like you kind of got to call them out on their BS. Like, well, you just told me you're unhappy, whether you're broke or not. You want more time freedom, but what are you doing with your time to cause things to change differently? Like, what are you doing differently? Are you doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result, like Chris mentioned? And then it's like, what do you mean your job won't let you? Does your job own you? Like, they don't own you, and you have to tell them everything. They're not your mom and your dad. Yes, helps pay your bills and everything else. Maybe in the meantime, while you're building business, you may want to look for a different job where you have, I guess, more flexibility, I guess, freedom, something where you don't have to be like, what do you mean it won't let you? Like, and then you got to ask them, like, what are you afraid of? Like, what do you mean it won't let you? Are you afraid of people finding out? Who cares? The people at your job don't pay your bills. Your boss does. Your boss happens to let you go. well, there's always unemployment. 1, 2, it's a blessing. 3, you as I like to say, you stay scheming. You keep it moving. You take what you get and you say, I'm at this job, but I'm not going to stay stuck here. I'm going to use this to fund my dreams and stay scheming instead of like most people. I got a job.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get it. Yay. Stay scheming. You just keep moving, man. Shit.
I think it's just.
I'm gonna jump off. I'm done talking. But greet you guys. I'm gonna let someone else
Hey,
jump on
Matt,
here.
stay listening in though. I'm gonna have my buddy Ed hop on, man. Ed's gonna give you some value, bro. So
Ed's the man.
So Chris, what else you got, man? Anything you got?
Man, I'm just thinking like, I think every objection that you come across, no matter what, is just an excuse. You know, and if you can pinpoint what that is, then you're going to be able to better assess what the person's really thinking, because really there's only several things that they're thinking. Honestly, they're not thinking that, oh, I don't have the time, oh, I don't have the money. They're just thinking that they don't understand what it is. They don't understand that mindset of something different, and they don't think they can do something like that. Most people don't give themselves enough credit that they can even try to do something different, because they're so comfortable in that paycheck. Oh, it's coming every month. I'm going to get it. It's, even though it's the same and it goes down every once in a while, you know, it's there.
That comfort zone. That comfort zone is that failure zone. Now, it's the crazy thing, right? People say it's a secure, steady paycheck. But guys, my thing is, if somebody else controls your time, they control your money. So how secure is your paycheck? So what I want everybody in the audience to do right now, type in the number 3 if you have ever known anybody to be laid off on their job. Type in the number 3 right now.
I'm just going to fly one.
Exactly.
So check this out. Everybody's typing 3, right? So listen, guys. I know people that was laid off that swore they would never get fired from the company, that they were going to retire from that company. This company was their end all be all. And guess what? Boom. Just like that, they got laid off. And these people were not bad people. They had families to take care of. Now what are they going to do? Because when you put your all into a company, and we know for a fact that most companies' main expense are their employees, now you get cut, what happens to your lifestyle? Okay, how is that fair? So that's why the job sucks. It's no security. And people are living in fear. They are living in fear because they don't know any other way to generate income outside of a job. So what I want to know from the audience and my people on the panel right now is, how do we, again, change this discussion? How do we show people there are other ways to generate income? Because, guys, honestly, what it all boils down to is cash flow. Cash flow is the real issue. And, yeah, come on and jump in. Come on and jump in. Who is that? Team Event 2015? Yes, please come jump in. Come take a seat. Hold up, let me see what's going on. There is a seat open. Hey, Carleon, let me get you to hop off for a minute, and I'm gonna see if I can get him to come in. All right, so let's see. Boom. Boom.
It's like Jonathan's just sitting there spinning.
Yeah, Jonathan is spinning. We're trying to get Leon to hop on.
Hey, Ed, do you want to come in on my seat, bro?
All right.
He was trying to come in too.
Hey, Jonathan, Christopher, Zach.
Yes, sir.
Zach,
how you doing?
You're pushing the boundaries here. Come on now, be careful.
How am I pushing it? How am I pushing it?
You just said money. Money is the rule. I'm not going to say that because you know what? Because someone call me out on this one. I'm going to coin my phrase here. Money has wings. It will fly away. Look, it's not the money that makes you so quote rich and famous. It's a strategy. I'm going to ask a question for you. How much is $100 worth?
$100.
So why can't I call this? You know what? Let me make it clear. Here's a piece of paper. Why can't I call that $100? What is it made out of?
Paper.
So that's $100, right? That's the equivalent you're trying to say. So we've got to understand how we print this stuff, and we've got to learn how to print it well, whereby there's no shortage of it. And how we say it, money should be stuffed into your bank account, whether you like it or not. You've got to have a strategy to make sure that money flow is actually coming in steady, whereby, again, nobody can take it away from you. So this is what you've got to develop. And this is, I'm answering your question here to everybody, if you understand what I'm trying to say here. Yeah? Yes, I've been laid off. I said to myself, it's not going to happen again. The first thing you've got to understand is you change your mindset from employee to employer. Not everybody can be an employer because we've been schooled to be an employee, if you know if that makes sense. So this is what, okay, so let's go even further back. Where do we get this from? And of course, from the education system, unfortunately. All right, they don't expect us to say, okay, you put everybody out there to be, again, an employer, because the system will crash. You would need people to be employees, unfortunately. So they said, okay, let's get a doer and a thinker. And we get schools that push out people that think first. Yeah, and we need people to do to make sure the actual economy starts to work. Now think about this very, very carefully. Yeah, we're actually going to school to get these wonderful titles behind us, but it's made for a job. Why are we now getting people that can actually have no sort of skill set and be an employer? So this is, I'm not, again, knocking education. But education is key. We must find the source to all this. Yeah. So you can see how far we've been. You have to go back to understand what's going on. Now you can see, I'm going to quote again, I can say the worldwide at the end of the day. People are going to college and they're in debt before they even get a job. Now, what they're really trying to do is trying to cover the debt, what has been created by the employment. By the actual education. Now, this is strange. How did you get around this? Yeah, I'm not going to go deep into the science of it, but we've got, again, getting back to your question, Zach. How do we make sure that we don't get fired? Educate your mind first. Discipline. All right? Money is not the object. It's not what you're chasing. You've got to find the source, what you're trying to chase. What is your why? In fact, why are you doing this in the first place?
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
I'm going to stop there. I'm going to let everybody speak, because guess what? I don't want to go on because this will go on for about 7 hours.
No, you were giving value, because honestly, my next question was going to be, let me backtrack too. So money is not my motivation. So I don't want anybody to think like money's my motivation. Here's my motivation, guys. Time freedom. Okay. I want to make enough money to have time freedom with the people I care about the most, which is my family. So I don't want anybody to think money is my motive. It's not. Money, like he said, is just a byproduct of you doing something you love, creating some income. But my passion is time freedom. So I wanted to know, what is everybody's passion? Like, why do you do what you do? That's going to be my next question right there. So Leon ran right into it. I want to welcome my friend Ed Zimbardi to the conversation. He's drinking his wine over there.
That is in his time zone.
So Ed, hey, I know you want to drop some value on us, bro. So what do you have for us tonight on this topic here?
Yeah, definitely. Your job sucks.
If you've got one, I don't have a job. I got a business.
Yeah, your job probably sucks. I think Leon's right on. Back in the early 1900s, the Industrial Revolution was formed. Big business was formed. And that's when the birth of the employees were formed. Because when this country was discovered 200 plus years ago, it wasn't formed based on everybody coming here to this country to get a job. Everybody came here for opportunity to share their skills and trades from other companies, other countries when they were born, and bring them here. 2 of the 4 grandparents that I grew up with came over from Italy, which were my grandfathers. Each of them had a skill. One of the skills was my grandfather on my name side was a barber. The other grandfather was a carpenter. So when they arrived in this country through Ellis Island legally as an immigrant, one started a business. The other went to work on his own, building houses and helping others build houses, and built the whole community in New York. Well, so if people stay stuck in a job today, it's their own fault. With all the opportunity that's out there, especially with the internet, you can connect with people all over the world. You couldn't do that 50 and 100 years ago. So why anyone would ever want to stay stuck at a job and have a career and take their hard-earned money and put it into a 401k and let even somebody else control their money is beyond me. I don't understand. I can't fathom that. I don't understand why people aren't waking up to the fact that they can control their own future if they get around other like-minded people of what they ultimately want. See, we all don't desire more money. We all desire more of what money brings us. And it's really two things: materialistic items and our freedom. As you said, Zach, time. You get to be in control of your time, your schedule. You don't have to make a lot of money or earn a lot of money to live a very nice lifestyle if you live within your means. You do need a lot of money if you want to travel the world, if you want lots of materialistic things. Then you really got to put your groove on. But if you want to just stay stuck where you're at, I don't get that mindset. It's like people want comfort and security. There's no such thing in this world. Just ask the people who didn't make it past last Friday night. There's no comfort and security in this world, no matter where you are, even in our country here in the United States. So you got to make it happen and get around like-minded people and pay your dues. Give it a little bit of time. Invest in yourself and give it a little bit of time. And before you know it, you can be set free from a job. That's my input for now.
Oh, wow. Ed, you dropped some value there. And let me ask you this real quick while I'm thinking about it. So you said we have to change the conversations, right? So like we're doing right here on Blab, we're having different conversations. But I think what happens is on a job situation, they're not having these conversations on the job because everybody's talking about job security on the job, how good their so-called job is. So I don't think they really have access to certain knowledge to get these conversations out to. So how do we as entrepreneurs get this information to them so that way we can say, hey guys, there is a better way?
Well, you got to be careful here because just what, all right? For us as business owners, I won't use the word entrepreneur because everybody's using it. Now, you got to be careful because this is going to bring down your business. The objective is to keep you secure, in this job as a doer, to do what you're supposed to do, not to hit this conversation. All right? It can be a legal situation because you're talking about getting out, doing what, whenever you leave a company, you're supposed to tell other people you're not leaving because it may be a chain on effect. So you've really got to be careful what you tell people in the business. Again, let's start it from the get-go. A business is not for everybody. Don't get it wrong.
For anyone that lives in this country, the United States, there's no excuse because, you said earlier, the YouTube education factor. They're already on YouTube, but they're watching a bunch of garbage.
Of course.
If they just watch something else on YouTube and change the channel, their lives can change.
Yeah, but they've been conditioned to do this, because that's what they know. Because guess what? You've been into the school system. I'm going to break it down to everybody that has got a job, right? And I want the business owners here to understand what's going on from the actual consumer side. You all got good at maths, and you can follow along with this one. And we're going to predict someone's lifestyle. We wake up at probably 7 o'clock, get ready for work. 8 o'clock, you travel 1 hour. I want you to all add this up as I go along. So 1 o'clock, in the morning, you spend 1 hour getting ready. You spend 1 hour traveling to the job you hate, because I don't know anybody who loves a job. You spend 8 hours at that job, slaving away. How many hours do we have right now? Anybody? Anybody know how many hours you have?
Last too long. We had 8 plus 1, that's 9.
Nah.
Is that 10? It's 10? Okay, let's move along. Now you travel 1 hour from that job back home. You spend 1 hour at home paying the bills, kissing the dog, doing what you want to do at home. Then the doctor says you need 8 hours rest. Can anybody calculate how many we've got?
12, 13.
No, you actually missed that. Everybody missed the maths here. You get F minus. It's actually 20.
Yep.
How many hours a day?
24.
Minus that to 20. What do we have left?
4.
4 left.
Right, this is what they've been telling you, and this is why some people cannot get out and start a business. You only got 4 hours left. Some people are working 10 hours a day. You've got 2 hours to try and run a business. Do you think that is feasible? It won't work.
But
They have the power to change their job.
I think that
Power to change their job? They'd be broke.
No, I'm saying they have the power to go get a job if they're working 10 hours a day, so they can work 8 hours a day and have that 4 hours to start a business.
No. You could never start a business in 4 hours because that's not practical. Guess what?
I'll disagree with you, Leon. I've helped lots of people on a part-time basis start their own home-based business. And just as simple as an affiliate marketer, marketing somebody else's product without having to have inventory, without even having to have a website, and on a part-time basis, redirect traffic and earn an income and build that up over time so that they can replace their full-time job. Sir, am one of them. I started it many years ago. So I know that you can do it with 4 hours a day.
Well, no. What is me? Again, when I say business, when you are serving 10 hours running your own business, you cannot get fired. Don't get me wrong. What you're saying is correct. It's a transition.
Transition, yeah.
Okay, all right. But I wouldn't again say to anybody, listen, you've got to now manage your time a bit better. For you to want that average lifestyle where you want to travel and things like that, this is what you're fighting. You're fighting the system itself.
But even the person that has a full-time job at 8 hours a day that only has 4 hours a day after all the things you just mentioned, for the 1 hour they drive in the car to work and the 1 hour they drive back, they can be educating their mind and learning something new.
Could be.
That 4 extra hours, if they're really serious and committed, they could start something and transition.
Right.
Listen to what you just said. If they are serious and committed.
Yeah.
But listen.
Because I guarantee with the extra time that they have, that 4 hours, they're watching TV and can name every TV show that's out there.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But today, we're in this world, people cannot lock into this. They don't want to listen to something like this as a blab because they can't condition, because they're confused. Yeah. Remember, you're driving that car. If you take your mind away, you can lose your life. You've got to focus on certain things. A lot of people cannot focus because the phone goes off, there's a distraction, and everything falls apart. They don't know how to manage time effectively.
I agree about driving in the car. They got to focus, but I'm not aware of anyone that's in a car for an hour on their way to work that just focuses on driving. They're either listening to the negative news on the radio or they're listening to songs that are depressing. I think they're not listening to personal development.
So they're focusing on that.
Yeah, let our buddy life coach down here hop in on the.
Oh, sorry, life coach, come on. Sorry.
All right, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna do this real quick. What we're trying to get back is the point where you were saying that how do we get them to understand or go back to their dreams? Is that what we're talking about, right?
Right.
So how can they chase their dreams, or and I think that it does come to mindset. It does come to mindset, but we also have to understand that we are conditioned, we are programmed, okay? So there is a paradigm or some type of conditioning that we have to be able to shift. Now, we also have to understand that we are all living on when things about jobs, first of all, a job is the worst place to have. It's the worst thing to do. If you have to have a job, make sure that job is funding your dream. That's what it's supposed to be doing, funding your dream, okay? So if we keep the problem is that people in America or wherever, they think on a physical level. what they see, taste, touch, hear, and smell. Okay? That's limitation right then and there. That's limiting yourself because we are spiritual beings, right? We're spiritual beings manifested in a physical body, right? So we have higher faculties like perception, creativity, imagination, all those extra things that could be able to we could actually create our own business with the faculties that we already have inside us. Why isn't the fact that we're doing it? Because we're not tapping into it. We don't even know that we have it. Half the time that our higher faculties are there, we ignore. We ignore creativity. We ignore imagination. We ignore perception. We ignore will. We ignore drive. We ignore desire. All those things is what makes you become out of that realm of physical, of I need a job to survive. Everybody in this world is on a survival type of mode because they don't understand that they have higher potential or potential in them to be better. So you can't chase it. You can't tell a person to chase a dream when they're thinking physical. It doesn't happen. Do you understand what I'm saying? Am I making sense?
No, it's clear. Would you say this is a fear of success? Is that what you're trying?
Right. It's not. It's fear. It could be fear of success, fear of failure, fear of the unknown, and you got to understand the educational system is not. We already know it's broken. We already know it's crooked. We got people out here that have degrees off their business card, but when they get out into the real world, they can't compete. Why? Because the educational system doesn't teach them how to be financially free. All you learn in educational system is three things: remember, repeat, and recite. That's it.
Yeah, I don't blame the education system. I blame the parents that put the kids in the education system.
But what I'm saying to you is, if you need to have a job, and you have to have a job, that job is supposed to fund your dream. It's supposed to fund your passion. Okay? And so stop thinking physical. Stop thinking in the physical, a limiting way. We need to start thinking more about potential. That way, the question you said earlier, we can actually answer. How do we take that and let people understand how they can chase their dream?
Can I add to that? I mean, I'm going to give you a real life example. This is how
That's all I want to say.
No, well done, bro. I think it's very, very good. You know, just to take the job itself. If you've got I'm not going to say a nasty word, but you could learn how a business is run and see how they do things within the job, and where you've got to understand customer service, you've got to understand how they buy products, how do they do this in the job, because that will tell you as a business owners what you're going to go through.
Hey, so you said a good point there. So anybody who knows me know I brag about my dad a lot, right? So my dad taught me a lot of great things, y'all. He's a business owner, been a business owner for 34 years. So I didn't listen to my dad at first. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not listen to him. My dad told me, go to school, get a good education, start a business. What did I do? I went to school, got a good education, got a job, right? So what did my dad tell me? He didn't look. My dad has always been a great educator, a great person that makes me change my mindset. So what he said was to me, he slapped me down. I never forget. He said, Zach, I told you to go start a business, but since you want to have a job, here is what I want you to do. I want you to go to that job, and I want you to learn all the ins and outs of corporate America so that one day you can own your own business, whatever type of business it is. And I took it to heart. I was like, you know what? Okay, if I got to go put in my time for somebody else to make them millions of dollars, I'm going to learn everything I can about this industry so I can go apply it to myself. So I love what Life Coach was saying, because what he basically was saying is, yes, most people in this world think that they have to have a job, right? But let your job fund your dream, because you can still be earning while you're learning. You know? So, I mean, I think he hit on something really good right there. And I mean, awesome feedback. And ladies and gentlemen, we do have an open seat. Anybody else who wants to come in, join in this conversation, please feel free to come on in. We're having a great discussion tonight. I'm loving it. Ed, any other feedback you want to give?
Well, your topic here, chase your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I think most people By the time they hit 22, their dreams are dead.
That was a punchy one.
Tell us why, Ed. Tell us why.
Why?
Their minds and their dreams are dead because they come out of the education system and they're conditioned to get a job, not necessarily start a business. So their dreams are dead at that point in time, and their mind's pretty much dead, and they become a zombie. Therefore, their body catches up to them as far as physically being dead, at age 65, 75, 85, 95. So what we have to do is find the people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired of where they're at in life, who are struggling, where they're barely making ends meet, but they still have like the pilot light on inside of their furnace, that it could be ignited so that their dreams can be resurrected, because we all have dreams inside of us. It's just so many people's dreams are dead. So yes, chase the dream, but we got to probably reignite those people whose dreams are dead. And that usually is people who start getting up in age, 25, 30, 40, 50. So the big question is, how do we do that?
Yeah.
So I just posted, hold on one second, Lee. I just posted in the chat stream, because Ed had a good point, right? So we got to have these different discussions, and we have to find the people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I posted in the chat screen, anybody that's on Facebook, I have a mastermind group on Facebook with different entrepreneurs. Doesn't matter what, I have all over the world, different businesses, industries, niches, everything. We're in that mastermind, and we share ideas on how to start this conversation, how to go out and find these people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and help them transition from job-based income to project-based income. So anybody that's on this blab tonight, definitely link up with us on that Facebook group called Create Lifestyle Freedom. Go ahead.
No, I would say birds of a feather flock together. I mean, you can congregate with people that are like-minded. This is what the internet is doing right now. Today, you're here, all the blab gets people get together. Right now, it's, where I am, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm in London right now.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so this is what it's all about.
You're just waking up, Leon, right?
If you want to put it that way, yes, because I was supposed to have a blab with somebody else and they didn't turn up. But you know what? Yes. While some people are sleeping here, I'm up doing what it's got to do. I do the opposite, because I have to communicate with people in the United States, around the world, India, and really dig into this situation. This is what we're going to do. It can be also it can actually affect your life, because it has affected me. I got diabetes because I used to sit here and not exercise. So the body also has to be ready for all this change, or get adaptation. So I'm not going to say you don't change things, but yeah, you really got to think about what you're getting. What is your why here? Why are you doing this? Yeah, this money thing, it ain't gonna happen, because they're gonna probably change the whole money. Learn how to collaborate and barter with people. There is a bit of science with it. Again, I'll talk to you about offline. But yeah, learn how to trade your services and know how to value yourself.
Before the early 1900s, is
I understand.
That's
it,
Ed. Yep.
Ed, this is what I'm trying to say. People don't get taught the industrial age at the present moment.
Right.
If you understand the source, you'll get the answer. This is what people don't teach you, unfortunately. Where I came from, they taught me about the industrial age. Today, you talk about a computer to somebody else. Oh, yeah, that's great. Talk about a floppy disk, they wouldn't even know. For you to get further in life, you must understand where you came from.
Yep. Absolutely. Leon, great feedback. Hey, I want you to stay on, Leon, listening in. Can I free your seat? I got my friend, Mr. Muhammad, that wants to hop on real quick. All right, Mr. Muhammad, I see you on there. If you want to come on and take a seat, please join this conversation. We got Chris back up. Chris, you must have some ideas popping in your head, man. What's going on?
Oh, I just lost them, that old age. No, I was going to tell Leon it's okay. Every one of us has a prospect that hadn't shown up before. So somebody didn't show up for his blab. It's okay. We get it.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, I just think back to your original question, it's and I agree with Ed to some extent. I think there is a pilot light on. I don't think everybody's dreams are extinguished. I just think with all the noise and everything that they've been told throughout their whole life kind of loses that. I mean, you think about, I was trying to think about how to find that passion or how to find that dream. And I think probably, I heard somebody say this, and I don't remember who it was, but they say the best way to find what you're passionate about is go ask your mom what you used to do all the time when you were a kid. Call your mom and ask what you used to do as a kid. And I thought about that a minute, and I was like, wow, I don't even think I could answer that. But, you know, we've all had dreams. We've all got caught into and we bought into the idea that, and again, I'm not going to blame the education system totally. You know, that's just not, there are good things about the education system. I just think for everybody in every career path, it's good for some and it's not for others. I think that's why you see a move towards competency-based education, because so many people are lacking specific skill sets that now they're going back to competencies where, you know, like we were talking about earlier, where you see a student or you see a learner doing something specific, like a skill that you can actually measure. And anyway, that goes on a whole nother topic. But I think the biggest thing is just to re-educate people, you know, and that's what I try to do every day when I'm talking to somebody that was in the mindset that I was in. And still am in to some extent, because I'm still in my job, but I'm working to taking care of that, because I see the potential in something that I have my hands on. And I'm like, hey, why spend 5 to 6 years getting a PhD that may not really give me the return on investment that I'm looking for? In fact, I don't even think I want it anymore. I don't want to be a researcher. I don't want to be a professor. So what am I really doing it for? You know, I'm doing it because my family weren't that educated. My dad didn't finish the 11th grade. My mom barely finished high school. And their only dream for me was to get an education. Right. And so education was huge in my house. And so that was my mindset. Man, I got to go. If I go get an education, I got to go all the way until I can't go anymore. So it was only till recently that I saw other people and the way they were breaking out of their old lifestyle and creating a whole new lifestyle for themselves through this idea. And there's many, many, many ideas that get to the same result. And I'm not pitching one over the other. I'm just saying you have to re-educate people on the opportunity that they probably missed out like 2 or 3 times in their life.
Let me comment real quick on mindset, all right, because I've heard that many times since I've been on tonight. Before you can get your mindset of what it is you want to do, you need to really set your mind. What I mean by that is you have to get your mind set before you can have the right mindset. Does that make sense?
You have to make a decision. Is that what you're saying?
You have to get your mind set. It begins with a decision, yes. But you have to get your mind set first before you can have mindset with what it is you want to do.
Absolutely. And I want to welcome Justin to the Blab.
Hey,
and,
Justin.
What I want to say real quick, then I want Justin to give his thoughts. So because Chris said something about asking your mom, right? So I want everybody on the panel to think about this, everybody in the audience. When we were kids, we had huge dreams, right? We said we were going to be firemen, lawyers, doctors, NBA basketball players, whatever it was. Your dream was huge. And then somewhere down the line, probably at 22, like Ed said, somebody told you can't do something. And I think that's what caused a lot of the shift in our mindset, because it's not necessarily always the school system. Sometimes it's the people you associate with, because you have a big dream and the people you associate with look at you like, what? You can't do that. Just stick to your job. You know, why start a business? You have a secure job. So what do? We don't think as kids again. We just shrink our dream, you know, to fit in with everybody else. So I think it's time to help people chase their dreams. We got to educate them a mindset, like Ed said, and set their mind, have them start dreaming big again. That, hey, listen, you can achieve anything you put your mind to, but yes, you do have to make a decision to go after there and get it.
You know what it is?
What is it?
We limit ourselves by buying into everyone else's limitations.
Yep. Yeah, like when you're younger, you have all these options, and then as you make friends, and you hear, like, even as young, and you hear their parents, and you start all these all their beliefs. Well, why you can't do this, or why this wouldn't work out, and everything kind of put on you, and you just, some of it you can't help but absorb, and you go, oh, I can't do that. So yeah, I agree. You go from this, you're young, there's an infinite amount of possibilities of what you can do for a job, a career, a business, whatever. And then almost as you become as an adult, you're told, well, here's why you can't do that and that and that. So you went from an infinite possibility to maybe, I don't know, a dozen or a couple dozen things, and they're within this, has to fit with this criteria, and this is how life should look and feel like. And you're kind of crazy or absurd or wacky or wrong if you step outside those parameters. And it's like, get back over there. So yeah, I totally agree. Been there myself.
Awesome. Good feedback. Good feedback. Let's see. We have lots of comments we haven't answered. Okay. We missed some comments here.
One thing I'll tack on to Christopher. Christopher, do you prefer Chris or Christopher?
Either one is great.
Chris said, and he said something, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just literally wrote down an Evernote about this the other day, because I was listening to, I'm trying to remember, Tim Ferriss was interviewing somebody, and it was about questions to help you figure out what you should do. And one of them had to do with like childhood, and the number one was, what, I had it down here, what did you want to do when you were 15 years old? Number two, what have strangers complimented you on? Number three, what did you grow up around? Number four, what have you been doing the last 10 years? And number five, what can you talk about effortlessly? And like kind of going down that, I was like, that's actually a good like line of questions to get people from, well, I can't do this, and just go, wait a second, just answer these, and let's kind of go down this path and see where it leads us, type of thing. So that made me think of that automatically.
Absolutely.
So here's a great question, Zach, that just popped up. I'd love to lead here on.
Go ahead, Ed.
It says, what are some of the best ways to get your belief back?
Oh, wow.
It's a great exercise to go through to get your belief back, is to ask yourself the question, what's at stake if you end up at the end of your life sitting on a porch somewhere on a rocking chair, going back and forth, saying, I wish I coulda, woulda, and shoulda. If you make the pain so difficult in your life, it will inspire you. That negative pain, that negative emotion will create emotion, which is motion, which will enable you to increase your confidence and belief to get back on track to do what it is you're called here to do, or something in your life that you're just not fulfilled with. So that's how you increase and get your belief back. Ask yourself the question, what's at stake if I don't accomplish my goals, dreams, provide for my family, leave a legacy for my family, etc. It's very powerful when you ask yourself that question. In fact, when you ask yourself that question on a daily basis, especially if you're into affirmations, you wake up in the morning and you look at that question in the mirror right there in the bathroom where you brush your teeth twice a day. When you go to bed and ask yourself what's at stake, it puts it in your subconscious mind to think about what it is you really need to do that you need to do the next day, but you usually put it off and fill that gap with other busy work that really don't get stuff accomplished, so that when you wake up in the morning, you're energized, you're brushing your teeth again, and you look at the question, what's at stake? It'll propel you to increase your belief and your confidence in yourself to make things happen and make it the best day ever. It's a powerful exercise.
Ed, I think that's very, very good what you just said there. You probably heard us the same, go to bed. If you've got a problem, go to bed and sleep on it. Now, again, going back to what you said, how do you really condition your mind? How do you understand what your mind is doing? You've got to really sort of deprogram yourself sometimes, whereby you wake up, you got to make sure everything's okay. Put these things in front of you. Affirmations are good, because once you start telling your mind this new way of thinking, it will start to learn this. Instead of going out, instead of coming home from a job with the problem as well, you wake up in the morning. You go to bed with that problem, and you wake up with trying to solve that problem. And that's what you think about. It's not say, okay, I'm going to go and watch a blab like this when I come home. Switch off from the job. That's where it ends. Don't get locked in to the job. Unfortunately, guess what they give you? They give you a pager, They give you a mobile phone. They can call you anytime they want to take you off the real dream that you really want to do. Continue.
And both of those, I think, speak towards habits, is getting away from the job. Also, peer groups. Like I always tell, if people always talk about, like, you know, in cybersecurity, firewalls and everything, it's like there should be a firewall in your ears and your eyes, and be very careful what you let in them, because everybody says you are what you eat. I like to take that one step further. You are what you eats, but you're what you hear, you're what you see, you're what you talk about, you're who you hang out with, right? You've all heard that one. So yeah, it's like, what are you watching when you're not at work, and what are you listening to when you're not at work and everything? Like, yeah, I understand everybody's obligated to do certain things at certain times of the day that maybe they don't want to, but yeah, you also have to think about, you know, your peer group and everything. Like, you know, that's why there's not, you know, AA meetings at a bar, you know, and things like that. So yeah, I think it comes down to a lot of habits and in peer groups, because like we talked about earlier, you know, your beliefs sometimes will be formed, not sometimes, will definitely be influenced by what's around you, what you see, what you hear, you know, that kind of thing.
So true. You can often get your belief back by leaning on others' beliefs, and lean on that by getting involved, by serving those people, getting involved with what they're doing, so that something can get sparked again within you to increase your belief. You don't have to necessarily do it all on your own if you get around the right people.
Well, no, when you think about it, I mean, if you use the job system, let's look at it carefully. This is how it works. Ask a question. I'm going to ask this question. Those of you that have been in a job, your CEO, did you ever see them within the business?
They're not physically doing the work, no.
No, that's right. So this is how you've got to think. All right, you've got to form a structure whereby you are not within the job. They're out playing golf or doing shopping. So they understand how to, you know, get the staff to do the work. They've got a system.
Well, there was a question actually earlier, Leon, about what's the major difference between a business and an entrepreneur. My definition of a business owner is someone who has created systems. They're a CEO, and they've created systems, and the systems do the work. And sometimes it's people. An entrepreneur is somebody that's in their business, and they're growing their business to grow. They're growing their entrepreneurship to the point where it becomes and evolves to a business, where it systematizes stuff. And that's where they grow to the next level as a business owner. Because we all don't start off as business owners. We start off as entrepreneurs. And we have to physically do the work, and get in the trenches. And then we hire people, and then we get people involved, and we'll pass off certain tasks as we grow, because we'll realize there's only 24 hours a day, and we've got 40 hours worth of work that needs to be done in 24 hours. So we'll task other people to do things. So ultimately, we graduate from an entrepreneur to a business owner. And then we go back to entrepreneurship when we get a second niche or start a second stream of income as an entrepreneur, but an educated entrepreneur. And we take a lot of our tasks that we've done ourselves, and we might outsource them immediately. And we don't, because we've graduated and learned from our first stream of income. So that to me is the difference between entrepreneurship and businesses.
Yeah, I think a lot of times.
And, I typed in a name of a book. This book changed my life. It's called The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. For anyone who has not read that book, it talks about how you leverage your time by being a business owner who creates systems, and those systems work for you to generate income. So if you guys have not read that book, I highly recommend you go. Matter of fact, you can download that book for free. And I'm going to tell you how you can download it for free tonight, but you can get it for free, and make sure you read that book. Cash flow.
Yeah, and Zach, it's been a while since I've read that book, but if I remember correctly, Robert Kiyosaki, he refers to differentiate between business owner and self-employed, or what some people say, hey, I'm an entrepreneur, as self-employed, or I don't know who came up with this term, but to kind of differentiate between the two, a solopreneur. Maybe it's just you or you and one other person, and they're a solopreneur, versus being a business owner where you have, I think Robert actually gives a number, something like 500 employees or more, and also utilizes systems like Ed was talking about, where it's like, hey, can you walk away from the business for 6 months and come back and it's generating at least as much, if not more, income than when you left 6 months ago? And just differentiating it that way. I know to me, and also whoever came up with the term solopreneur, I was like, yeah, because and not that one is better necessarily than the other. Some people like the lifestyle design business and being a solopreneur, but just kind of differentiating that way. I know for me, it cleared it up as well.
I think Ed touched on something here whereby he just said, I mean, I sort of different when I hear anything single, it's a bit of a danger for me, because guess what? I need a wide work of people to do things. I can't do things on my own. Yeah. And this is what we get careful. Some people tell us. Yeah, you've got to go out and get people to help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because you don't know everything. You cannot be a accountant, be a business person. Go out and ask for help. Come to places like this. Yeah. It's most important. Yeah. Don't be afraid. If you don't know, ask, or stay in your lane. Be good at what you're good at. Yeah. Don't try to take on the whole business yourself, because this is what the cliche says: a business fails in the first year.
Yeah, know your weaknesses, know your strengths. Yep.
It's simple. Yeah. And what I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, I'm the best and nobody else can do. Oh, hang on a minute. What school did you go to? Because I don't know anybody in the league that knows everything. Because in fact, I want to know them. You've got every answer? Great stuff. Yeah. You tell everybody out here how to generate revenue. I'll say great stuff. Yeah, this is the situation. Yeah. And we get caught up in pride. Yeah. Drop it. Yeah. Just come, knowing what, yeah. And being good at it.
Yeah. You said pride, ego. And then another thing I thought of, which Zach made mention to earlier, which is, elevating thinking and just having conversations like this. And I read over there on the side from Wagner, Brandon says, entrepreneurs are big thinkers, maybe they meant, and risk takers. But what's interesting is I think that's also like a common assumption, because I wouldn't say that all are risk takers, or like going into business for yourself has to be risky, because when you compare it to what we were talking earlier, is like having one job. Like most of my friends and family have jobs, and that's fine. And when I went into business for myself, they were saying like, oh, that's risky. And I'm like, yeah, but I have multiple sources of income, and I've had a job too. And I remember I felt very insecure because, I was a good employee, maybe not the best, but I was good, but I had one source of income. At any given time, my employer, maybe not because of my fault. Actually, there was one point that he even told me it came really close. Due to something he did wrong, he might have to let me go because it just wasn't enough, funds coming in. Luckily, that didn't happen at that time. But that to me, having a job was very risky, and having a business and having various sources of income and everything is not risky. So to me, it's kind of like when someone says real estate is a better investment than stocks or this or that. I'm like, well, which are you more educated about, or which are you more passionate about becoming educated about? Because real estate could be very risky. Stocks could be really risky. It's the investor coming to it. If they're not educated, then it's risky.
So there was a comment in here, and I know Ed probably can piggyback off this comment. It says, but your employer had an established business versus starting something from nothing. Now, what I want to say before I let you guys jump in, there are businesses you can start where you're not starting from nothing, because you can buy into a system that's already in place.
I was going to say they were actually starting a branch of a franchise.
Right, exactly. So, yes, your employer has their system that somebody else started, but when you go into business, you don't have to start something from nothing. You can find a niche that already has something established, a system already established, that you can jump into, take hold of, and guess what? Start a business from it. Am I wrong, guys? What's your thoughts?
100%. You can buy a business off the shelf that is actually moving in the right direction. Not many people tell you about this. And it doesn't have to be lots and lots of millions of pounds. dollars or whatever it may be. Just buy a business off the shelf.
Currency.
Now, the situation, what you're going to do, you can buy the business at its full stages, but what you're actually buying, you're actually buying the staff, and you're actually buying the clients. Add value to the business, then flip the business in 30 days. You can borrow people's money. Guess what? If you've got a visa, if you've got credit, guess what? You could use it. Your objective is to make the return on investment and back in the time you place the money. That's why you've got credit cards. They say 30-day turnaround. This is what the larger people do. They buy actually clients. This is called client acquisition. Guys, again, we didn't go to school to do this. They told us go to work for someone, not to go buy the business and those types of things. There's all different ways. But okay, go guys. Ed, you go on this one.
Let's see. I think a key word for me that comes to mind is emulate. You can emulate someone's business. Some people call it clone it. You can emulate someone's business in your area, and or you can take the least path of resistance and something that somebody's doing online that's established already. Easiest form of entry for someone to get started is really some kind of affiliate business. There's so many easy ways of doing it versus getting started with some type of brick and mortar business that somebody's doing. It just beyond me how people will go and invest tons and tons of money to get started in a quote unquote business, franchise, something like that, and put so much on the line when you can grow into something like that as maybe one of many streams of income versus cashing out your 401k or putting your whole life savings or putting all your credit cards into just one business to get it up and running. Having multiple businesses, multiple streams of income is great. Everyone should aspire to have that, but you need to do it in stages.
Yeah, and by all means, don't quote me on this number, but I believe, and you get by all means check me on this. Wasn't it like the average millionaire has at least 7 sources of income? Am I right on that?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
It's quite. You definitely have to do that. Well, this is it. But think about it. I mean, it is logical, but you should actually focus. But if I think Ed pointed, I wanted to actually talk about this before because Ed pointed out you're in his rocking chair. You're saving up for we call it pension, but it's 401k. That's risky in itself. And now this particular pension it's worth nothing. You've just taken a big risk of your time. You can't get this back, guys. They're telling you it's worth nothing. So what are you going to do? Yeah, you're sitting in a rocking chair. Unfortunately, your body functions can't move as what it is. You've just given your time to these people, and this is what you cannot get back. Now there is a strategy behind that. You buy somebody else's time, but I call it. I've got a sort of notion called TIF. It's called time, information, and finance, and you should be able to use these 3 entities to buy somebody else's time to get the information. To get the finance. So what I'm saying here is, guys, if you become ill at any given point of time and you do one thing, that source of income will stop dead in its tracks. This is why you have to have multiple, because one of them will keep going in your absence. Don't become the employee within the business. Yeah, because you're at the top of the game. Again, who's going to cut you off from there? Nobody. Now, let's going to touch on a question that somebody's put in here very, very quickly. And this is only my personal preference. Don't take it at personal. I wouldn't not do an MLM because I don't run the business. My name is not on the business. I cannot change the pricing point. Yeah. And I will never be in the top. I may never live in the top level.
And here's why I disagree with you, Leon.
Okay.
Is because you should not do an MLM exclusively.
Okay.
See, what I'm suggesting to anyone out there is that they should have multiple streams of income with low entry points, with the least path of resistance that doesn't require a lot of capital, and earning an income online. There's many, many different ways. So when you have a prospect, if you're engaging in traffic, let's say you're buying traffic or you're engaging with people and they're a prospect, you should have the ability to market multiple things at one time. If you're single focused, only looking at one thing, and they say no, then you don't have the ability to sell them at all. You're done. So you should have other things that you can provide them. And if you're diversified, that's why the average millionaire has how many different streams of income, Justin?
Seven.
I'm not saying you start with 7, but you should, if you do happen to just start with one thing, you need to expand to something else and something else. And network marketing is something, the direct sales industry is one of those things where it's $500 or less to get started. So I'm not saying put all your eggs in one basket, but you shouldn't shun away from it because you just don't have control of it, because you really have no control over even an affiliate business.
Yeah, I was in an MLM for a while. I'm not in it any longer, but I made a little bit of money, but really actually learned a lot from it. And so I would say
you shouldn't close your mind 100% to MLM. It should be one thing that you look at along with others.
Yeah, and like I said, I learned a lot from it. So.
I agree with both. No, I agree with you on the learning part, because guess what? I can tell you I did the MLM. I learned from a very, very good MLM how to communicate with people, what it's all about, again, really, because the structure of it. That's what I learned from it, because I took that from it and understand, hang on a minute, how do you get these people to work together? Yeah. And again, build a team. A lot of people are frightened to do that. Yeah. It's not about selling. It's how can I help you get to the goals that you want. Guys, you've really got to get back. Ed says your mind up in here. Yep. Exactly. Leveraging. Yeah. Here comes the words now. This is what people fail to understand. It's not about you. It's how much value you can give them to the customer. They will come back from you. They will get their credit cards every single day. If you can give value. Yeah. And shift it. Yeah. From you're trying to sell them, forcing it down the throat, giving them something they don't want. Come on now. Doesn't make any sense. Think before you try to even start to sell to them. What? Ask a question. Test it out. Come on. Bring it into their home. I'll quote unquote some MLMs, they don't teach you to work together. That's what drives it.
The companies don't teach that necessarily, but the top leaders, they do. If you get around, it's getting around the right people. I'll give you a quick, for instance, Leon. There are companies that have been around for decades. Perfect example is Nu Skin and Amway, global companies. There are people that I thoroughly believe that people can get involved with those two companies today. 2 people can get involved. One can go on and be successful, and one can fail miserably. The only difference between the 2 people are 2 major things. 1, personal development. You got to work harder on yourself than you do in your business. Number 2, it's the team that you associate, because it's the team, meaning your support team, that's going to assist you in team building. And some that don't have that team support and don't get around the right people fail miserably, because you can have the greatest product in the world, the greatest comp plan, the greatest management team, the greatest brand name recognition. None of that matters unless you have personal development as the core and the team you're associated with that recognizes you, because we all want recognition. We all want to be built up, and we all want to be part of a team. And that's what that industry offers, which I think is the greatest way for people to get started alongside being an affiliate, just learning internet marketing. Those 2 things are the easiest form of entry for people to be set free and earn $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month and get away from their current job and transition into bigger things in life. But that would be just 2 of the 7 if they become a millionaire. Those 2, and then establish 5 other types of, and one might be real estate.
Ed, I'm glad you said I'm going to do a shameless plug, guys. It goes a long way. Unfortunately, this is our promotion, and this is one of the things that we do. It reads. Oops, if you can see that. Excuse me. One of our brands that we did in October. Together, everybody achieves more. Team. All right, there you go. All right, go ahead.
That's what team stands for. And another thing. Since we kind of transitioned to ways that we can create income now, talking about affiliate marketing, MLMs, things of that nature, real estate, I think the biggest thing about network marketing is the team build aspect, like you said, and the personal development, because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think in a situation where you're in network marketing, MLM, you're building relationships and you're helping somebody achieve their dream. So you ultimately achieve yours as well. So you create a win-win situation, whereas in a traditional job, it's not win-win. Okay, somebody else is leveraging your time to make all the money, but you're just getting the scraps. All right, where in affiliate marketing and network marketing, whoever puts in the most work, whoever builds the biggest teams to help somebody else make money, you ultimately make money as well. So again, we have 21st century tools out here now to where, like Ed said earlier, people should not have to go to a job and feel that pit filling in their stomach every single Sunday and say their job sucks. Because guess what? There are other options out here for you to grasp hold of, but you got to be willing to go out there and find it. You have to be willing to come on blabs like this, listen to other people, thought leaders like Ed, Leon, Justin, and figure out what your niche is going to be and go after it. You have to go after it, guys. So, I mean,
hey, Zach, the most amount of heart attacks in this country occur at 10 a.m. Monday morning.
Exactly.
That's some serious stats.
People are dying on their way to work or went to the office on Mondays. It is ludicrous.
Now, I'm curious to know what you guys think about this, and everybody in the chat room, though, is do you think, though, because I do, that there's this mental block keeping people stuck in going to the job they hate on Mondays because there's this kind of unsaid bond of, hey, as a society, we have to suffer through this thing called life, and we have to go to work each day. And we're kind of indoctrinated, or most people are at least, into believing that this is just the way things have to be. I mean, I talked to my friend,
I agree with
Josh, a month or two ago, and he was like, yeah, I can't remember the last time I woke up and like enjoyed going to what I was going to do to create an income. I'm like, wow, that was sad to hear my friends say, because I went to junior high school with this guy and stuff. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. But he's like, yeah, what are you going to do? Like, sometimes people like
Justin, at that time, you you pass him the gun and you say, go ahead, man, do it. And you gotta shake him up.
But listen,
and
you're conditioned to say, oh, I have to wake up to get to the job. Not, oh, I have to get up and listen to the tape or get in a blab. This is what we are conditioned. Unfortunately, we're going back to the school system.
Back to the school system. Back to he continued to tell me that his father, his older brother, they all kind of subscribe to the you go to job, you make money, and then whatever money's left over after paying regular bills and stuff, you enjoy whatever time you have left over going there. And so even before you get to school, it's in the homes. And that's why I agree. I forget who said it. Apologies to them who said it first in the comment section. But it's not just about the schools. I think schools is part of it. It's about the parenting. It's about, I mean, I hate to get into all of it, but governments and politics and the media. It's everything. But, I can't blame it just on schools.
But here's what it really is boiled down to be, right? It's really association. Point blank, period. Because here's what's happening. People think they have to go do that every single day because the people they associate with every single day are doing that, and they have no other option for them to give them. So all they're going to keep telling them is, hey, man, just stay here. Just stay in this safe, secure place. Just stay here with us. Don't leave us. Just stay here. So it's the association. So we have to get people into different conversations.
But
we got to have different conversations and get them around different people.
No, Justin, you are right. Because guess what? Our parents didn't know any better. You cannot blame them because they didn't know.
Oh yeah, not blame.
It's right. Yeah, if you didn't come from a household where guess what, everyone was again a business like minded, you're not going to pick up the skills. This is something that somebody actually asked me, and they went to an entrepreneurial quote unquote place. The first thing they asked was, did you have any sort of entrepreneurial background in the family home? Yes. Yeah, but again, as you're going back to your original question today, how do we get a person's mindset, ready, conditioned to stop thinking I have to focus on the job? It's a very big shift. I used to work on Wall Street, and I had to say, I'm going to drop this big, take my pride, swallow it. I'm going to say kiss goodbye to you guys. I'm going to do my own thing. And they said to me, I didn't know you had it in you. I said, yes, I have. Goodbye, and shut the door. You know, it was the biggest thing I had to do, taking that risk. Yeah, to go out there and just to get my mind clear, go away, spend that money that actually I can actually use. Yeah, and that time it was good because nobody has that kind of money right now. But yes, you really have to say no to certain things. Learn how to discipline yourself and lower risks here. Stop wasting your time on non-productive activities that that take away the money that you do really want to use for what your dreams are. All right?
Zach,
absolutely. So
I got to tell you, Zach,
go ahead.
In today's day and age, in a society that we live in, with social media so prevalent and the internet so dominant, I cannot buy the excuse that someone says, that's the way I was brought up. Everybody today needs to take personal responsibility for the fact of what's going on around them. Everybody's influenced all day long about making more money, opportunities, entrepreneurism, to earn income online. So if somebody is staying stuck in a rut where they're at today, saying, well, my parents brought me up that way, then there's a major issue with them. They're not taking personal, they're taking a victim role, a victim mode within themselves. They need to wake up and they need to take some type of personal responsibility. They can't live the rest of their life in today's day and age saying that I'm this way because I was brought up that way. There has to be a break. A generational curse has to be broken in today's day and age because of what's going on around us. Everyone should be considering a second source of income, even if they're full-time and have a job. They should be doing part-time something online to earn an income. And I don't buy any excuses from anyone who says, well, that's just the way it is because I was brought up that way. Or that's the way my parents were. We don't live in a day and age anymore when our parents lived. It's a different game.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And this is what I want to do, guys. This is what I want to do because it's now 11:32, and I actually have to get another conference call with my mentor at 12 o'clock. So we're going to wrap this up. But listen, this is what I want to do because what Ed just said, okay, you have to take personal responsibility. So what I want my panelists to do right now, people need mentors like you guys to guide them along the way, okay? They need a mentor that can tell them, hey, it's time for you to take personal responsibility. Let me show you a better way. Have some different conversations with them. So what I want each of you guys to do is go around the horn, tell the people how they can connect with you. If you have a blab, tell them to come to your blab because we got to have more conversations like this and get people out of that mindset of they have to go. And every single Sunday, their stomach's cramped up because they want to go to a job that sucks. Okay, so go around the horn, guys. Tell people how to connect with you, and we're going to wrap this blab up.
Anyone's go first? I'll go first. I'll go first. All right. If those of you don't actually know about me, I've got 25 years worth of IT technology and mumbo jumbo, whatever it may be. But the best way to connect with me, I don't have a personal website. There is a reason for that because I don't accept anybody. You've got to pre-qualify to work with me because I'll make sure you're best fit and I'll make sure that we give value, make sure your business, whatever your service, does what it's supposed to do. The preferred method for Leon, doesn't matter what time zone you're in, I am cyber friendly. I'm going to put a link inside the window. It's LinkedIn. If you're a LinkedIn guru, you see all the actual clients that I've probably helped and sort of, again, a summary of what I can do. Remember, it's just a summary and there's a bit more. But again, I focus on really helping people get past the go. You know, we've helped over about 3,000 people within the Caribbean alone with marketing strategies, sales conversions, the list goes on. When it comes to strategies, I focus on that. And I focus on what kind of budget that you have and what is your goal and can I complete and help you get to your objectives. That's me.
Awesome. Good stuff, Leon. I appreciate your input tonight, buddy.
Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, you'll find me here probably 6 or 7 days out of the week, at least once here on Blab. Of course, same username connected with Twitter. But probably the place I would send people is to my website, optimizeself.ninja. Yes, it's a ninja. So I'll include that there in the side. And basically what it is a mastermind group of like-minded people, and we use a combination of health, fitness, wellness training, lifestyle design, strategy, tech, all that good jazz, basically in order to help people become the best version of themselves possible and help others do the same. So, and at the bottom of that page, there's links to all my social media sources. So that's probably the best place to send people and find me.
Awesome. Hey, Justin, I appreciate you being a panelist tonight, man. Great value, great input.
Oh, thanks for having me on, man. I followed everybody here and can't wait to blab with you all again.
Awesome. Good stuff. Ed.
Yep. My name is Ed Zimbardi. I have all the different social media links. I'm out there. It's just my name. Just look me up. I posted here inside the chat my email address, my telephone number, and my main website. With that, what I do is all of the stuff that's out there in the strategies, the techniques, how to make money, all of that is great. But before you even get started, I help people with their mindset by getting their mindset right. If you're not into yourself and you develop yourself personal development wise first, you have a very hard road ahead of you in building a successful business or being an entrepreneur. So I help people out. Oftentimes I'll donate quite a bit of my time. I've been very successful in business in the past. And what I like to do today is really give back. I like to serve others and help in any way possible. So if you go to my website, there's really nothing that I sell product-wise other than a little bit of my time. I will give people my time like I'm doing here. And I do chat with people, give consultations at no charge. So if you have any mindset issues and you're thinking small and you're ready to think big, I can assist you.
Awesome. Ed, I always appreciate you, man. Always great value when you come on to these Blab sessions. And ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zach Shaheed. Definitely get access to our Facebook mastermind, Create Lifestyle Freedom. We have entrepreneurs from all over that come in, share ideas, and collaborate. You can follow me at ZachShaheed.com. And I'm also, just like Ed, on every social media platform, Instagram, Facebook. So just look up Zach Shaheed. I'm pretty much the only Zach Shaheed you're going to find. So just look me up on Facebook, Instagram, and follow me. And we'll love to collaborate. So, guys, I appreciate you guys being a panelist tonight. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the mastermind. I definitely will connect with everyone on here.
I'm going to start a new one right now, Zach, since you're bumping off.
Boom.
See you guys. Anyone
All right, guys. Take care. Have a good night.
Later,
Everybody
guys.
in the chat room.
Bye, chat room.